Yeah, what's up, y'all? This your boy Kass, King of the West, chilling with my homeboy Symptom. He in the cut. 210 Radio presents Visualize. Do you see what I see?
Yo, this is Symptom from 210 West Radio, live with Kass.
Yes, sir.
You know how we do it live on Melrose. Visualize is going down. Yeah. So what's good with you, man? What's new?
Oh man, just well, first of all, let me shout out everybody, man. Right now we in Music City Studios.
Okay.
My homeboy Roach, who y'all just met, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
My man Seagal.
Okay.
We got Dr. Hollywood, we run LA, they in there recording. So my bad, I was a little late, y'all. You know, I was trying to help them out. We working together on some, you know, creative forces. They got production on some pop shit, and then, you know, we write together on some lyric shit, play some records. So I apologize to 210 Radio. 210 West. I feel very bad. I was a fucked up person, but we getting it in. So anyway, yeah, I'm just staying busy. To answer your question, I'm working on my new project. It was supposed to be called Adidas 2.0.
Okay.
We switched it, so now it's called Fila.
Okay.
Fuck it, lose it all. So all day I dream about. It's kind of my life story. So all day I dream about spitting, then fuck it, lose it all, and then the third part is called Now I Know Everything.
Right.
Nike.
Right.
So we got, you know, so we're working on Fila, working on Dr. Hollywood, working on David Banner, working on 40 Block. We're working on Stupid Americans, which is a group with me and Money B from Digital Underground. Okay. We're working on The Horsemen, which is me, Corrupt Killer Priest, and Cannabis. And I know I'm forgetting something else. We're doing something else, but stay pretty busy.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's up?
Yeah.
Well, for me, this interview is important because I think I told you on the show, you are my favorite MC of all time, hands down.
Thank you, Symptom. You know I appreciate that.
So that's big for me to have you on this Visualize project. What I wanted to know is, real quick for the people out there who may not know, is, you know, how you found music. How did you know it was for you?
Real accidental. My older sisters, you know, listen to rap.
Okay.
You know, I was a weird kid. Like, my parents worked.
Okay.
We lived in Carson. I had to go to school in Watts.
Okay.
And we all did. So I went to school in Watts. Basically grew up in Watts at my grandmother's house. And then I remember my homeboy, Rap Capone.
Okay.
He's from that was from Great. Okay. So anyway, but he's like the nigga with the waves. He got the bitches, you know, with all the fuckers, you know.
Right.
Yeah, but, you know, I'm just Baby John back then. You know what I'm saying? Ironically, you know, me and Spider Low, we all grew up down the street from each other.
Okay.
But he was just cool. I was like, he get all the bitches, you know. When you're like 8, 9, I'm just like, he cool. Like,
I'll be short nigga with the hair all way.
Yeah, I'm like, he get the bitches, man. That nigga cool. And he's like little Baby John, you know what I'm saying? He had the radio. This nigga, you know, the real nigga that walked down the street with the radio. You know, and really where it started for me was I heard KRS-One. And I probably heard shit late. I just wasn't really, that wasn't really my thing. Music wasn't really my shit. I was more like I flipped down the street, all that shit. And then I could draw. So that was really more so where my brain was. I wasn't a music person. Okay. And then I heard some shit that I personally liked. I always heard rap music. But I think it had to be really like Rakim, KRS-One. And then the first thing I ever wrote is we grew up on 99 and McKinley, and I tried to write like the 9-9 Eastside Hustler rap, which was not a gang. It was just, you know, clicky. You know, like everybody on 99th Street. You know, the 9-9. You know, they shut that shit down. I'm not saying it wasn't happening. Anyway, but you know, back then I just tried to write a rap. I think I took somebody's flow, and I tried to write a rap. Shit was garbage. But it sparked the interest, and then from there, man, I really just did it as a hobby, and got blessed enough to, at some point, I guess I improved, and then the homies, you know, some of the homies would be like, you tight, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, okay, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not what I'm gonna do with my life. It's like, cool, I guess I'm tight. Right. I don't want, when I rap, I don't want niggas like, this nigga's bullshit, and walk away. So I thought I was cool enough to at least jump in and say a rap. And I just really got blessed. Like, I did a well, I didn't have a demo. me and my homeboy would make songs together. We would battle each other. A nigga named Bird.
Okay.
So me and Bird in middle school would, like, he had a mixer with a sampler and I had turntables.
Okay.
And I had a mic, so we put our shit together and we would battle. What we found out was he would always find the best loops, but my freestyles would be the best. And then we kind of went from there, and then it grew. But that little shit helped me meet Battle Cat and Wino. Okay. And then Battle Cat said, like, you tight, little nigga. You know what I'm saying? And I was literally the little nigga that my mama would drop me off. So I must have been like 14. You know, and my mama would drop me off, you know, in 6-0 neighborhood. Just drop me off. He's like, I'll get him home, you know what I'm saying? It's Austin, whatever. And, you know, we be in there just trying to get it in. Like, and then same thing with Wino. And really it starts from there. For me, my homeboys helped me make my first demos, and then, you know, Wino produced Coolio, and then Coolio got successful, and Battle Cat became Battle Cat.
Right.
And I was always, you know, like Lil Raz hard.
Right.
You know, they never got Hollywood on me. They just believed in me, and really they gave me my foundation, put me in a position to finally meet Sway and Tech, which helped me grow. Mike Nardone, I need to shout him out too. Mm-hmm. It helped me get in my position. And then from there it grew. But really those are my foundations. That's my truth.
Okay. I want to fast forward a little bit. You know, after the first album, Solo Nice, dropped in '96. Am I right?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Did you feel like you were put in the box after that album, and people wanted you to sound a certain way? Were they always searching for that Solo Nice album?
It happens.
Right.
It happens. I never was in a box because I always would tell people the same thing, and I would say, take the music off of Solo Nice.
Right.
And you hear a lot of different shit. I'm talking about prison shit and all kind of shit. I'm talking about some hood politics shit.
Right.
As well as talking about some positivity shit.
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking about bitches ain't shit.
Mm-hmm.
You know, on the first album, the hook is bitches ain't shit but hoes and tricks. The niggas ain't shit but hoes and dicks.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Same album, I still got Battle Cat on there. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about we can marinate, get nice and stack riches, but it's BYOB, bring your own bud brewing bitches. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've been the same nigga, so for me, if people pick Nature the Threat and Realism and a certain amount of songs, so, you know, Solo Nice, and say, oh, that's who you are, I'm like, dude, did you listen to the album?
Right.
Because there's two people on that album. They're both me, but it's two people. He's a conflicted person, you know what I'm saying? I got a smart mama, that don't mean I do smart shit all the time. Right. So I try to be honest about how much of a hypocrite I am as a person, because I know better sometimes and still do fucked up shit.
Right.
You know, that was the point of Solo Nice for me, was to be honest about all this fucked up shit. I do this, then I do that. I know I think like this, but sometimes I get drunk and I just want to fuck a bitch.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Just, you know, whatever. Just trying to be honest about me as a human being.
Right.
Those people that try to put me in a box, I always just say, well, you're not really my fan. You're a person that's a fan of a certain kind of music, and if I can serve you in these songs, then so be it. But if you are somebody that supports what I'm trying to do, then you would accept the music I've given, because I try to be pretty consistent, to be honest.
Definitely.
You know, and so that's been a struggle for me. You know, it was a fight with my label. It's been a fight with even people that say they like my music, but I gotta wake up and put on my pants one leg at a time and be who I am every day. It's not convenient to say I'm not gonna listen to me today, because I am me. Right. So my job is to be real to me. You know, whether that, God willing, it gets me, you know, that $1 million and that plaque and that whole shit. But I think my strength is really what sometimes was something that was hard for me, which was, why won't you do that? You know, like when people say make Nature the Threat too. You know, I can't make Nature the Threat too.
Right.
I don't even feel the same way.
Right.
You know, my history, you know, what I've learned has evolved me to a different point.
Right.
So I could never make that song unless it was just to make y'all happy. You know, but then I'd be lying to myself, so I won't do it. Even though I've made Nature the Threat too, in my opinion. You know, I've made Interview with the Vampire. It's not the same concept. I made Behind the Music. I've written a song called The Seance. There are these epic, brilliant concepts. It's not about the same thing, but it's that in depth about a situation. And so that was my epic for you, you know, or for myself, really. And if you can't get it because it's not me saying some shit you want to hear, then because if you want what you want to hear, you should just keep buying that record.
Right.
Remix it. Get the acapella. Remix it. I'm not gonna turn into the nigga you want me to be.
Right.
So, you know.
You started from an independent standpoint.
Yeah.
Back when physical copies were really a big deal.
Right.
And as you know, the game has shifted to the online game now. How's an artist like yourself adjusted to that?
I was removed out the game before that transition happened anyway.
Okay.
So I was still signed to a major label up until 2007.
Okay.
That doesn't mean I had albums coming out.
Right.
I had 2 albums that didn't come out signed to a major label that budget, big studio, paid so and so. You pay the producer $5,000. Like I came from that, and those albums still didn't come out. So for me, aside from the fact that I made mistakes and I removed myself from society.
Okay.
So for me, it was all learning and new anyway. I was always just interested in learning. I'm kind of I hope I'm still as much of a sponge as I used to be.
Right. I understood early in your career you moved to New York. Is that true?
Not early.
Not early?
No, when I was younger, I had cousins in New York.
Okay.
But me, I didn't move to New York until 99.
Okay. What caused the move to New York?
I'm trying to think if I want to tell the truth.
Okay. Okay.
No, fundamentally, that's after Ghetto Fabulous.
Okay.
So I'll try to make a long story short. I made a certain amount of money. They only did 1 video for that album.
Okay.
And it was the Dr. Dre record. Dre had told me fundamental shit. And the company basically hinged my career off of this Dr. Dre record.
Okay.
And they didn't shoot any more videos, which meant, one thing I know as a nigga from LA is if I'm going broke, I ain't going broke in LA.
Gotcha.
Cause then you smoke crack.
Right.
Oh, you smoke crack.
Right.
Got me fucked up.
Right.
Out of here, right. If I'm about to be broke, you'll never see me. So I'm keeping my wine.
Right. Okay.
So I was like, well, fuck. I gave certain people certain amounts of money.
Right.
And I was like, well, fuck. This is gonna be hard because I want to be out of the situation.
Okay.
I was in a production deal and I'm signed to this label. I want out the production deal and eventually I want rid of this label. So I went to New York for that reason. And I only had 2 options. There's LA, and at the time there was Atlanta, New York. The production company I didn't fuck with was based in Atlanta. So I knew if I went there, I'm going to get mad and I'm going to put myself in prison because I'm going to get mad.
Right.
And I went to New York like, well, fuck it. At least I got a talent. I got niggas out here. My family had moved already, but I got niggas out here that's my family. So I might as well go out here and just kind of grind out and see what I can create for myself. And actually, the blessing to that story is I've negotiated, thanks to Doo-Wop and fucking Black Rob and Prodigy, we always be in the same clubs together on a regular basis. You know what I'm saying? And congratulations, you free, my nigga.
Yeah.
We haven't talked yet, but
welcome home, P.
Yeah, definitely welcome home, my nigga. Real shit. While I was in prison, P hopped on the phone with me and half. So you know what I'm saying? Much love, my niggas. You know what I'm saying? Definitely, P. Congratulations. But I went there and just grinded. You know what I'm saying? And my niggas, helped me. My nigga Ray, that was at Priority Records back then when there was a Priority Records in New York, and we just grinded. Okay. We got hot. We started bubbling. Just started from zero. Left home. It was hard to do, but I always felt like Q was saying I pushed rhymes like weight.
Right.
That's when, around that time, that's when that song came out, and I was just like, well, okay. If we pushing rhymes like weight, New York like buying my dope.
Right.
Because I'm dope. I'm going to go to New York and push these rhymes like weight. And I pushed it, and New York supported and put me in a position where I actually negotiated a situation where I got rid of my production deal. You know what I'm saying? Because New York had me bubbling, K-Slade. I'm the first nigga that was on a K-Slade mixtape from the West Coast.
Okay.
Gunning niggas, you know what I'm saying? I introduced Snoop Dogg and Eminem to K-Slade, and whatever. So it was a blessing. I went to New York to because the music business didn't treat me right, and I went to New York to be an MC, and they showed me a lot of love, and I grew from that. It should help.
That's dope.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, you mentioned Dr. Dre a few minutes ago.
Yeah.
And this is a question I want to know as a fan. Is, you know, how come you and Dr. Dre never did work together? And you know,
Yeah.
Well, I mean, and create a full project. You know what I mean? How come you never got that Last Guy Dr. Dre full project?
I'm not his artist.
Okay.
I'm not signed after that.
Okay.
The fact that Dr. Dre stood out, you got to think about this. Who else did Dr. Dre fuck with before and really after me that was not signed to him? I'm the nigga right before Eminem.
Right.
But you're signed.
Right.
He gets bread. You know what I'm saying? So I always feel very blessed. Doc went out there and said, you know what, I believe in Raz, and helped me. You know what I'm saying? And believe it or not, did it again. So in 2005, he did the same thing. You know, like gave me a track. You know,
Right.
and blessed me with Busta Rhymes. Shout out to Bust. Like he gave me a record. My record label said, "We'll drop your lawsuit and we'll release this record." I was like, "Eat my dick." You know what I'm saying? You know, but Doc has done what he. You know, it's not his job to take care of me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? My job is to handle my business. This is a business. It ain't a favor. It's not called the music favor.
Right.
And I feel like, you know, I've had a lot of people that believe in me, you know, respect me as, you know, as a good human being, as a talented person, you know, and niggas that went to the wire for me. You know, my job was to have to, you know, get rid of that past situation. And, you know, and now my job is to create a business. You know, I have to create a business. Those people were invested in me.
Right.
You know, it was definitely embarrassing for back in the day for you know, the next mogul to be able to say, "Wow, if you signed to me, you'd be a star." Right. You know, that's embarrassing.
Right.
Honestly,
right.
You know, damn, you had so and so. You know, and so and so saying like, "Damn, what the fuck is wrong with your company, my nigga? Like,
Right.
I thought I laced you, my nigga.
Right,
like,
right.
you did, my nigga. I'm sorry."
Right.
You know, so no more excuses.
So what's your current situation right now?
I'm a free agent. I think we talked about it, Symptom. Basically, right now, I'm having a fun ass time.
Okay.
I'm finally a free agent. Helping. Actually, I forgot about something. You had asked me what I did in the beginning. So I'm helping my homeboy Wolf.
Okay.
Create his record label, and I get to be an A&R. So I ain't really an artist.
Okay.
I'm really like helping a young nigga from Carson, you know, develop this project. So that I'm kind of excited about that, because it's not me as a rapper. It's like me and the things I've been through and what I learned, and trying to apply it to somebody else and say, well, I know this and I know that, and you know, I got these relationships. So we trying to build. We're not trying to build. The nigga got his own talent.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? But just to try to see if we can do a better execution than what's been done before. So that's what I'm working on outside of, you know, the Horsemen and you know, Fila, outside of Dr. Hollywood, that we just shot a picture.
Right.
Y'all put that picture up in there at some point. Dr. Hollywood, dopest pop niggas, born and raised here, man.
Right.
So we support all of it. I don't care if, you know, some people was lyrical, some people was club records.
Right.
We got Sarah Shine in the building, so, you know, it's a lot of different talent. You know, we all support each other. That's what it's about.
That's what's up. So, you know, before I came, I got on Twitter. People gave me a lot of questions to ask you. And the main question that keeps coming up is, what's up with the Four Horsemen?
Well, it's a beautiful thing, man. We're about, honestly, I would say we're about 60% done with the Horsemen.
Okay.
You know, people that are on Twitter. Can I just say this? I'm gonna say this one time and one time only. If you don't know me, if you don't know, I appreciate people that support my music.
Did you have some vodka?
Yeah, I killed it. Sorry, that was a dog. Yay! Keep all that. Love it. Check his plaques. That's a Gilly. He did that. He can. You know, my whole thing about Twitter and all these, you know, I appreciate, you know, social media. But just because I watch somebody, it's just like me watching, you know, Paris Hilton on TV every day. I don't know that bitch.
Right.
So if I walk up like, why didn't you get? You sound stupid. You know, you only know what you see. The horsemen are intact.
Okay.
There's nothing but love for everybody else.
Okay.
Some things, dirty laundry, I was always taught not to air my dirty laundry. And unfortunately, Twitter and Facebook are ways where laundry that shouldn't be aired gets aired. But then we got a closed house and deal with this dirty laundry. Horsemen are the horsemen. Slaughterhouse is slaughterhouse.
Right.
And there's a lot of interconnected family. And there's none but love. I think we all, you know, whatever. There were some things where people see things and it's a non-issue. I won't address it anymore past that.
Okay.
There's family, and we're going to continue to respect each other as family. And if you get on my Twitter and have an opinion and you're not one of those 8 people, you can get banned.
Right.
On my planet.
Right.
On my Twitter, you can go. I don't need your extra opinion. There's 8 really talented people that already got to deal with each other. And we got, you know, we go back and we got family. So to answer your question, we full speed ahead. You know, sometimes we got to sit back and analyze like what's going wrong, because people they like a drama. They want something to get something. That's what people like. It's that natural state. And everybody that can spit, I'm not against Exhibit just because I can rap good.
Right.
Or I'm not against Kweli just because I can rap good. He can rap good too. It doesn't have to be me against him.
Right.
I can have love for my nigga, but sometimes you get, you know, these social media things can create things that don't really exist, and you can get wrapped up in it. And so, you know, I advise on some love shit as humbly as I can is, I don't want to be a part of that. And I think we as the Horsemen and even as Slaughterhouse, I don't want to speak for them, but you know, the unfortunate little small thing, I think we nipped it in the bud and we got it done and finished with, and we move on and we move past it. And you know, the Horsemen, you know, we had to go take some inventory and sit in the house and say, hey man, what's going on? You know, and let's be right about shit. And so we gonna work from this day on to just make sure we doing what we supposed to be doing and never disrespecting. Definitely, you know, not. We don't want to be disrespectful to anybody. I don't think anybody wants to be disrespectful to us. And that, you know, there's room for everybody out here. We all talented, and much success to everybody. And we getting ours together, and it's coming out incredible.
Okay.
Yeah.
Another question I have from you via Twitter is, you know, what kind of books do you read, bro, and what music do you listen to?
I can be honest with you. My mother just gave me a book 2 weeks ago in Vegas. She gave me the chapter I'm supposed to read. I haven't had the time to read, believe it or not. And it sounds fucked up because I want to read. Honestly, I try my best because I don't get to read as much. I have 4 books sitting on my, you know, on my counter that I want to read. And I couldn't tell you the names of them offhand. I just know they're very highly recommended by people I respect. I try to watch intelligent TV. You know, my fun is Discovery Channel. My fun is I watch CNN. And even that is not the best news. I like Colbert Report. I like Daily Show with Jon Stewart. I just don't have the time right now to read. I'm so busy doing the things I'm trying to do. So I haven't had a chance to really read. I hope that I work hard in the next, you know, 3 months to 6 months where I can take a break and be able to just sit down and just read some books and say, hey, peace, my nigga, all the bills paid. I'm out of here, my nigga. I'm about to go sit somewhere, nigga, and have fun. Because I do enjoy reading, but and I already got homework, so I haven't done my homework. But in general, I don't really read nonfiction. I like history. So when I do read, I read things that are based on fact. Because life is a pretty interesting movie if you just read the history of whatever.
Right.
You could read the history of apartheid, and it looks like a comic book. Like, honestly, and I know that for a fact because I read it. Like, the people that, for a small example, the people that created apartheid, those Dutch people came and their leader left and went into the jungle with a black lady. That's some comic book shit. Before there was apartheid, it was this whole shit and all these Africans, but they got guns and then they pray to God and then they slaughter the people even to get on the mainland. And then their leader's like, fuck that, and he falls in love with this black lady. He disappears in the jungle for like 10 years and then comes back and says, fuck these niggas. No, for real. Like, I'm not making that up. Like that's a movie, right? Nigga. You could make a movie off that.
Hell yeah.
And that's fact.
Right.
You know, like, there's some interesting things. Like, life is interesting. So, you know, when I do read, I try to read fact because sometimes the truth is more interesting than any story you could ever tell. So, but I haven't been able to read as much as I want to. My goal is to, you know, finish the things I started, and I've kind of got a bigger plate. I have some ideas that I'm trying to do, and I think we're executing well. And then I'm going to cocoon out in about, you know, when it's done, I'll cocoon out so I can just read because it makes me happy. I like to just be like, you know, I like to call my homeboys like, 40, nigga, did you hear what I did, nigga? Nigga, I just learned blah, blah, blah. They like, shut up, man, I don't want to hear that shit. Like, nah, nigga, this shit's crazy. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, it's coming. But, yeah, that's pretty much me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Earlier when I asked you, you know, who you grew up listening to, you mentioned KRS-One.
Yes, sir.
And I thought that was kind of interesting because whenever KRS-One is asked about who his favorite MC is, he mentions you. So how does that feel to know a person that you grew up listening to that inspires you, you know, admires your work?
I'm blessed. We were just sitting in the studio and you heard a song from me back in the day, and I said, you know, all I want is enough snaps to put clothes on my, you know, you know, and the niggas dap from the niggas I, you know. So I've been blessed, man. Like, I came into this game and really being a West Coast nigga, I wanted, you know, Rakim and Nas and so and so and so and so and Bun B, you know what I'm saying? And I wanted them to say like, you tight, you know, and I got it.
Right.
You know, now the job grows.
Right.
But I'm blessed, man. Like, when, you know, Chris is a fundamental part of what makes me, and I'm not gonna sit here and lie about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, some niggas don't. The problem with rap is it don't respect its elders. The problem with black people is we don't respect our elders. You know what I'm saying? When we learn some respect, even if he too old for, you know, to fight back, you respect him because you respect him.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And that's our problem, you know, in hip hop, that we don't know how to just say, you know what, you a boss, nigga. You win because you win off GP, my nigga.
Right.
I'm here to let that go.
Right.
You say what you need to say, sir. I'm adios, sir. Peace. I don't fuck with you no more, but I'm adios.
Right.
Sir. Not to just splat the 80-year-old man. And that's the problem with hip hop. We splat, and the turnover is real fast now. So niggas like, oh, I don't give a fuck about that. Wow, how you don't give a fuck about the niggas that paid the way for you?
Right.
It's like saying fuck Rosa Parks. Then you dumb, my nigga.
Right.
I don't give a fuck, nigga. I'm riding back with me. I got a Bentley. Alright, my nigga.
Right.
Use a dummy.
Right.
And that's the problem with hip hop. It's a big dummy. And we really make the dummies feel happy about being stupid when we need to check ourselves. And now hip hop is not just black niggas and Mexicans or Puerto Ricans. It's Asian, it's white. Hip hop is universal, and if we don't set an example of showing some respect for our elders, who else would? And so, you know, my job is to respect my elders. Even if I don't agree with them, I try to respect them.
Right.
You know, and we'll see what happens. Like, you know, for me, with a KRS-One or a Rakim or whoever, you know, whatever. I've had a blessed life. I've lived with some of the greatest rappers. You know what I'm saying? I've lived with. I've been friends with, Lil Son, like Lil Razzie, you know what I'm saying, by some of the greatest. Through Digital Underground, and, you know, with a Tupac. Like, I've been blessed, man. You know, I'm not a nigga that had to make. Anyway, in conclusion, you need a different the machine. But no, anyway.
It's going right now or recording?
Yeah, it's great.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but you know, just for me, I'm blessed. I'm blessed to have somebody like yourself, something. When somebody say, "Look, my nigga, like I respect what you do, and that's dope," and we just keep it moving from there.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
The saying is, "Real recognize real."
Exactly.
And so, if I was a little kid with a dream, and them real niggas believed in me, and vice versa, or whatever, then my job is to make sure I continue to keep my mind real.
Right.
With $1 million or $1 and be a real nigga and keep this shit going the way it's supposed to be. And so I feel blessed when KRS-One can say, that's a real nigga.
Right.
I was so and so, and this little nigga humbled me because I thought this way about West Coast niggas, and this little nigga showed me like it's a West Coast nigga like that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And that's cool to me. And if and we each one teach one. So I just feel blessed and I feel humbled.
Just 2 more questions for you.
Yes, sir.
You mentioned the Horseman project coming up.
Yeah.
What personal projects do you have coming up as well?
Me, I'm doing the second part. I had Adidas all day. I dreamed about spitting. I'm doing Fila, which is fucking lose it all. I'm doing some business with my homeboy David Banner, who's a long-term friend of mine.
And a big Kass fan too.
Yeah, I'm a big David Banner
I
friend.
shout you out too,
Yeah,
right?
It's my family. So he's got bangers and he's doing his thing, and we've come together and we're doing some things together. Dr. Hollywood, 40 Glock, and I'm forgetting people. Oh, Stupid Americans, which is my brainchild.
Okay.
But it's me, my homeboy Clee, and Money Beat from Digital Underground.
The different genre kind of music or something you said?
Well, Stupid Americans is kind of
You talked about it on the radio show.
yeah, it's every genre.
Okay.
Stupid Americans is hip hop records, dubstep. It's every genre, but the thing that keeps it consistent is that it's just niggas going in.
Okay.
So we spit over it.
Okay.
It's kind of rowdy. It's kind of rowdy music over any genre. And so it's just a different zone of my personality, and it gives me an ability to not necessarily would you hear a dubstep record on a Kass.
Right.
But Kass probably will put a dubstep record on his record.
Okay.
And if you don't like that record, then so be it.
Okay.
Just like I'll put a club record on my record. And if you don't like it, you don't have to like that record. I mean, that's for you. But that's our avenue to create that. And then we're doing Stupid Americans and Horsemen. And Horsemen is strictly high concept, high lyrical, but it's high concept. So it's not going to be a whole bunch of battle rapping. It's actually a biblical concept. So we have to stick. It's not Kass, Killer Priest, Corrupt, and Cannabis. It's death, famine, war, and whatever. And so there's different zones for different reasons, And so that's what I'm trying to do is be able to have outlets for me to be as creative as I want to be with the people who want to be creative with me, so we can do that kind of shit.
Right.
And there's always a way to sell something. Because if you can sell crack and still sell, weight loss pills, there's a market for everything. But you can't be on the corner selling weight loss pills. So obviously you don't sell weight loss pills on the street. You sell ecstasy and da-da-da.
Right.
There's always a market for everything. So what I'm doing is selling different parts of me in different ways that maybe you can swallow that pill when it's all just me. You can go back to any of my music. I'm just me.
Right.
I'll tell a nigga off top, like I like a lot of shit. My music is a reflection of my personality. Now we're being creative about making shit like, let's get in this zone and fuck with this zone. And when my niggas is in that particular zone, like, then we fuck with those songs. So just because Corrupt is a Horseman don't mean he won't be on a Stupid American record. When he want to be on some like, fuck that, let's get drunk and just say some fucking rambunctious shit, then we'll make it like he hops on a Stupid American record. And it's a dubstep record. So when you hear Corrupt on a dubstep record, don't get surprised. Like, nigga, we fuck with that. You know what I'm saying? He's got a group called First Generation, which is all the, really all the foundation from here.
Okay.
Like King T and MC8, you know what I'm saying, and Gangsta and whatever. I'm on that.
Okay.
You know, and they on my shit. We just, you know, it's different facets of the same family and personality types. We all, you know, I done seen 8 at the dubstep show performing because he's still MCA. The beat may change, but he's still MCA. He can rap on what he wants to. I'm Raz. I'm gonna rap on what I want to. This beat may bring something else out of me. So I would have just, you know, encouraged hip hop fans and rap fans to open your brain as opposed to close your narrow vision about what you think somebody is. Because I'm gonna be an artist whether you accept it or not. You know, I just want to be creative and make shit that I think is cool. You know what I'm saying? Some shit gonna be funny, some shit gonna be lyrical, some shit gonna be political, some shit's gonna be personal. I might just talk about my mom and shit or whatever, but the whole goal of this shit is real artists, especially on the West Coast. I encourage y'all to let a nigga be an artist as opposed to keep making fucking boxes of people like, oh, I'm the hard nigga. Oh, I'm the hard nigga. Or I'm the backpacker, I'm so soft like I eat a chew stick. I'm neither one of those. I'm just a nigga from LA, you know, with a personality type that can range as a human being. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to run out and turn into a comedy version of myself to fit into a box. And home needs to start doing that a little bit more. I think the South has a little more variety. I think the Bay has a little more variety. I think, you know, New York has variety, and we get stuck either as I'm the hardest gangbanger, I'm a Crip or a Blood, either one, and oh, homie in the homie beat coming through. Man, I don't want to hear that shit all the time. Or the other dude is just like, I'm so pussy, I'm soft, I got a chew stick in the backpack. There's so many niggas that I know that we somewhere neither of the two, but somewhere closer to that. You know what I'm saying?
Than that, right.
Than that. And it's nothing wrong with that, you know, but we not that. Like, nigga be like, you know, oh, 6'4" hopping. I don't want no goddamn 6'4". Nigga, I want a 600.
It's 2011.
I don't necessarily want to wear Chucks. Nigga, I actually really like Prada shoes. Like, the homies done said that. So why don't we start allowing our coast to grow? I advise our coast to allow these young, you know, and then niggas mad because they want to lean with it, rock with it, and step with their tight pants. They got no choice. These younger niggas wearing tight jeans and they still might pull out the burner on you.
Thank you.
Truth be told.
Thank you.
Because they didn't have a choice of how to express themselves based on what they had, and then that's their expression. I don't knock them niggas. You know what I'm saying? I wish we would have gave them more options. They created their option. Like, fuck it, I'm gonna pierce my tongue, pierce my ear, pierce my nose, you know, whatever, but I'll still shoot you.
Crazy, right? Shoot you off some things, you know what I mean? Yeah, man, it's a cold world, you know, so I you know, thank you, Symptom. I salute. Thanks for having me. I don't want to get over preachy. That was my little leak about the West Coast, man. My last question for you is, where does Kass see himself in 5 years?
I'm eating. That's bottom line. Watch, you'll see. I'll be too busy for you to get me in an interview.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
I'm just bullshitting. You'll always be able to get me. But no, trust me.
Eating.
No, we gonna have this shit turned around.
Okay.
I got a plan.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
Man, thank you. Appreciate you for having me down.
Thank you.
You know what I mean? It's big for me. Like I said, it's my favorite MC ever. So it's big.
Thank you, Symptom. I appreciate it. Thanks for having me. 210 West in the building too. See you though.
Yeah.
No, we did it.